lot of rapid development. We're seeing a lot of work happening within Sage ERP X3. Can you give us a very quick summation of where we're at now, the state of the art, the sorts of focus areas that have been delivered?
The heart of version 7 has really been around technology platform, focusing predominantly on usability and accessibility. So completely, re-engineered, latest technologies, and quite brave decisions taken a few years ago that were not mainstream technologies, of which now are. So what we believe we have now is really the next generation ERP. What that means from a customer perspective, which is I guess the most important thing, is really easy implementation, easy to use, easy to configure. Gone are the days of long, complex projects. So our recommendation is to go with a standard implementation, get the product up and running, and then look at further configurations thereafter. And that way, we get users very familiar with the software very quickly.
We're also seeing a focus on building out the capabilities of the product. Far more focus now on integrating across ERP, CRM, HR, all the OEM modules that are available. And that as a roadmap is quite exciting. There's a lot of capabilities now coming to the product. It stacks up pretty strongly against the opposition.
It does, and it's one of the advantages of having a relatively mature product. The product has really been around in different forms for 20 years now. So the functionality is by and large there. It's a very complete product. We've got 25,000 companies and hundreds of thousands of users on this product for that period of time. So it's a very mature product. But what we're finding is where we can really extend that is through some really specific vertical capabilities that some of our partners offer. So I'm not an expert in manufacturing. I'm not necessarily going to go out and build a manufacturing model, but there are people that are that way.
Looking at the development curve of customers who do quite aggressively adopt technology in a transformational kind of way, how does CRM fit into that? And on the flip side, what is the risk to companies that don't adopt quickly enough? How quickly will they find themselves falling behind?
I think CRM in some ways, hits that curve quicker because it's been more dynamic in terms of purchasing cycles and stuff like that, where sales teams...
And customers are evolving very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a business support tool, it's been acceptable for years probably to try and actually put your data in the cloud. And that's, in some ways, Salesforce has helped to actually develop that market trend, right? It creates a market for the rest of us, which is great. The adoption rates in the likes of North America and the UK and mainland Europe to some extent are much more aggressive than we see elsewhere in the world. And I suppose what we want to do is we don't want to actually start saying you have to do it this way. We actually want to provide choice to people so that it's right for them. The danger for themselves, I suppose for businesses in general, if you don't get on the emerging curve of what's actually the trends out there, is that it stops becoming a choice of deployment and actually becomes a way of maybe doing business.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That it becomes a way of actually engaging your customers, etc. That there's more happening there than just a platform. So it gets more dynamic online, being able to actually engage people at a certain pace, etc.
Just to wrap up, we've seen the forecasts for Sage ERP Africa. They're very aggressive. We know that the region is a very exciting region for Sage right now. There's a lot of deals going on. Do you expect the same thing? Are we expecting BI to kind of follow that curve, or does it lag a little?
No, I don't think it lags a little. I think it actually leads a little. So by that, what I mean is, yes, everyone is getting very aggressive in terms of going to market with new products, obviously across the Sage portfolio, but actually BI is leading a lot of these opportunities. So rather than BI take a back seat as it did traditionally up until recently, we ourselves, along with a lot of partners in Sage, are leading our presentations and demonstrations, our sales opportunities with BI, setting the stage to show prospects and, of course, customers that getting the information out of the transactional systems has become a lot easier and much more productive. So we actually are leading with BI.